worshiper in me wants to be free from the cares of life that seem to weigh me down. Yes, the worshiper in me needs consistency to lift my hands to give you praise when no one's around. Yeah. Oh, the worshiper in me wants to break free from the intellectual mentality. Like when I should be up, I'm seated in my seat. I should be lifting my hands, giving you praise and glory. Hey, I should be giving you more. I should be giving you more. Hey,
oh, the worshiper in me wants to be free.
Just wants to be free
from the cares of life that seem to weigh
from
me
the cares
down.
of life that seem to weigh me down,
Oh,
weigh me down sometimes. I wanna be consistent.
To lift my hands and give you praise when no one's around.
Lift my hands to give you praise.
Oh, the worshiper in me wants to break free
From the intellectual
mentality.
like when I should be up.
On my feet and in my seat.
I should be lifting my hands, yeah.
Giving you praise and glory.
Every time I get the chance, I wanna give my best to you.
I wanna give my best to you.
Yeah.
I wanna do what you ask me to.
Oh,
I wanna go
wherever you say.
Just say the word and
I will obey.
I wanna live a life that's free.
I wanna be
I
real.
wanna serve you, Lord,
Serve you, Lord, for real.
For you deserve all this and more.
You deserve this and
So
more.
I give you more.
Every little thing that I have,
More.
it belongs to you.
I give you more.
Every little thing you can grab, God, it belongs to you. I wanna give my best to you.
I wanna give my best
Oh
to you.
Lord,
I wanna do what you ask me to.
whatever you Lord, yeah. Wherever God, I will obey. I wanna live a life that's real. I wanna serve you, Lord, for real. Oh, I wanna give you more. to be Lord, my blessed Savior, I surrender. Surrender all. Ooh, I surrender all to thee. You get all of me, God. Hands up, LA, scream. Hands in the air.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon. Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine. Ask Elaine, where to ask Elaine.
Welcome. Welcome once again. You know that it's Wednesday. You see our smiling faces up here. It's Wednesday. It's 3 p.m. We want to welcome you to Ask Elaine. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those who tuned in on AM or FM or here on Facebook Live, we welcome you. We have a really, really important guest on today who's going to talk about labor and where labor has brought us and where labor can continue to take us. Many of you know that there's some things that are going on in our area that we really want to talk about today. So we'll introduce our special guest in just a moment. But after welcoming you, I want to thank our sponsors, especially Black Voters Matter. And we want to let you know that Black Voters Matter will be here on Sunday at Soul Jam at Henderson Stadium. They'll be there. The district attorney, Anita Reynolds Howard, will be there. The whole family, the whole gang is going to be there. County officials. Mayor says he's going to try and drop in. Uh, uh, Senator Lucas may be with us for a minute or two today, if he can land that plane that he drives called a Charger. He can land it. And there you see the Soul Jam poster. The festival, this is the 23rd year. Actually, it's about the 30th year because this festival had another name, Flashback, before then. But this is the 23rd year. It's going to feature West Love. Earthquake is the MC. Big Mike and the Booty Poppers. Heat Wave. David Lucas himself and the Soul Jam Band. Midnight Star, John Dunn, and the Jazz Men. J1, who was just here with the Blues Festival, Stan Butler and Nicole Jackson. And so we just want you to come out. If you'll just go in and Google Soul Jam, you will be directed to places where you can get tickets in advance. And I would encourage you to go ahead and get your tickets. The weather calls for just beautiful weather. on Sunday. So y'all come out. The gates open at 1. Your coolers will be inspected, so please no glass bottles. We encourage you also to bring trash bags so that all of your trash will not be left on the grounds there at Henderson for someone else to pick up. So we'd like to leave a really clean stadium after we have finished enjoying Soul Jam. So all the ticket locations are there. Get your tickets. There's nowhere I don't think that you can get a more reasonably priced ticket than for Soul Jam. And with the lineup of acts starting at 3 p.m., and it will end probably about 11:30. But you'll have a wonderful day. Bring your own food, and there will be vendors inside. Once you eat up all the groceries you have brought, then and you have drunk all of the libations that you have, then some folks will be there to some vendors, and you can buy you some more food of your choice, and also overtime. Larry and Charity will be there, and they will have anything and everything you want to help you to wash your food down. Wash your food down. So it is a wonderful day. Black Voters Matter will have a table there. We will be handing out t-shirts. We'll be handing out a lot of free stuff. Atrium is going to be there. They'll be doing free blood pressure screenings, and the DA will be there with representation from the district attorney's office, and they will have some giveaways. They always have wonderful things that talk about a lot of the preventive programs that they're doing. They don't just put people on trial, they also help us to try and prevent having our children, especially, to enter into wrongdoing and end up in that system. So, Maria Bryant has joined us here on Facebook Live. Good afternoon to you, too. That's Miss Voter Registration. She'll be there with the NAACP along with Gwen Westbrooks and some of the other members of the NAACP doing voter registration, and also giving you some information about some other things that you need to know. Hello to Randy Crawford, who has joined us, and we look forward. Y'all just come on in. Please like and share this, just as a reminder to all of your friends that we are on the air. Ask Elaine is on, and hopefully you'll learn something today that will help you. So please hit like and share. And there's Faye Alexander, who has joined us. We've not heard from her in a while, so it's good to hear from her. Community activist Harriet Taylor has joined us. So we expect others to join us as we go through this time. And if someone misses the show, then of course they can go on and it's recorded and you can replay it. So we want you to share this so that everybody gets the benefit of this information. We want to congratulate the young people who participated in a graduation ceremony for GCAPS, which is the Georgia Civic Awareness Program for students. This was held at the old train rec center, where the 4-H operation, the county undertook renovating that whole building, which is county owned. You own it. I'm never going to miss an opportunity to remind you of what you own and what you pay for and what you pay your taxes for, the upkeep of it. And everybody in there, in some way, you're paying their salaries too. So don't ever forget that. And don't ever forget to vote. Pastor Lisa Watson has joined us, along with all of the others who are on AM and FM. So welcome. We want to, but we wanted to congratulate these young people who went through a program for civic training and awareness, visited a lot of different areas, functions of government, learned a lot. And it is hope that these people will develop an appreciation for their government and that they will want to become a part of government and move us forward. I was very impressed with that group of young people. And so you'll be hearing more information in the next few months about how you can get your young person involved with this. Pastor Lisa, welcome. We want to join you in congratulating all of the 2023 graduates in Macon Bibb County. Want to express congratulations to my daughter in law, Shanitra Lucas, who received her bachelor's degree from Mercer University. She is, I'm hoping, will stay in the field of education. We need more of our folks to be in the classroom teaching and caring for our children. So I just salute her and encourage her to, stick with the field of education. Ricky Crawford has joined, those Crawford boys.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, Crawford men. Kimberly Gray Harmon has joined us. Good afternoon to you. And we just salute all of you. EL High School on June 24th, we will have our graduation ceremony for 2023. We have about 20 students who have completed all requirements for the high school diploma. And so our graduation ceremony will be held Saturday, June 24th at St. Peter Baptist Church on Fort Hill Street, which is kind of diagonally across from the shopping center where the school is located there, the Northeast Plaza Shopping Center. So we encourage you, we encourage all family and friends to come out. Join us at St. Peter's on June the 24th at 5 p.m., where we will celebrate these 20 young people who will receive their high school diploma from an accredited program where they can go on to college, technical school, the military, a job, advancement on the job, whatever you have wanted to do. Getting your high school diploma will allow you to break the chains and move forward. So we wanted to invite you to come to that. I think those are the announcements that we have. If anyone else has an announcement, if you'll put it in the chat here or give us a call, we'll be glad to share that information with our audience. But we once again want to welcome you to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, welcoming you once again to the program, those on AM, FM, and those on Facebook Live. Oh, one final congratulations. The former mayor of Gordon, Marianne Whipple Lou, received her doctorate of divinity yesterday or the day before. And she was also in attendance at the Al Lucas Scholarships, which were held on last Friday. And so we congratulated her in advance. And we did see on Facebook that she did receive her doctorate of divinity. And so we salute her and congratulate her. And we just wish her all the luck in the world. She is one who is on the case all the time. And so we express our sincere congratulations to her. Now, on to our special guest today. Our special guest is none other than Mr. Alex Perkins. And there he is. And he is going to uh, introduce himself to those who don't know him and just say hello to those who do know him. And he's going to tell you what he does in this community. And then we're going to have a discussion about the approval of the labor union for Bluebird uh, um, Bus
Yes, ma'am.
Company. Is that the
Yes, ma'am.
name of it? Okay, Alex, welcome to Ask Elaine, and thank you. I'm so glad that you were available to come on today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's a
Okay,
pleasure to be here.
all right. Tell us about yourself.
All right, so for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Alex Perkins. I'm a native here, right here in Macon, Georgia. I graduated from Southwest High School back in 1999. I got involved with the union after I became employed at Graphic Packaging International Paper Mill. When I was hired, it was Riverwood International back in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked at Riverwood for graphic packaging for a little over 15 years, and I served as a steward, vice president, as well as the president of that local for a number of terms. And through that service, I was able to go through some trainings with the United Steelworkers, which positioned me for the position that I'm in today as a staff representative for the United Steelworkers.
Ah, okay, okay. And I think we first got acquainted through your advocacy for the employees at the different companies, especially during COVID.
Yes, ma'am.
When well, look out, COVID is still there, but during the time when COVID was killing people on a daily basis, the employees at the different companies were very, very concerned and wanted to make sure that there were procedures in place to protect them
Yes, ma'am.
from the spread of COVID. And you were an advocate with the health department and with some other entities to try and make sure that safety measures were in place. And I was impressed with that because I've been concerned over the last several years that people are forgetting the importance of labor organizations. So tell us why we should go back and rethink our loyalty and our gratitude toward labor organizations.
I mean, it's like you said, we got to think back. Labor has been the building block of this entire country. Without the labor movement, um, none of the industries that are successful and still thriving today would have been successful. It goes back as far as, well, further than brother Asa Philip Randolph,
Yeah.
and he organized the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, and that was the first union that would allow African Americans to be members. And when you look back at your roots and see what labor unions do, they provide equality. They
Uh-huh.
give you a platform in which the workers have a voice where they can speak up and speak directly to management and be able to address the issues and concerns that they have. And without it, and especially in the South, in the state of Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, they're all right to work states.
Hmm.
So the right to work laws give the company the ability to fire people for any reason.
Any reason
That
you don't have any recourse.
yeah,
You
so
just
so you just fired. But
uh-huh.
but with the labor union, you have protections because they have to prove and establish just cause. So they have to prove, that there was a rule that existed, you were aware of the
Hmm.
rule, and you violated it. But outside of all of that, like you said, speaking up for health and safety issues. Health and safety is one of the biggest concerns of people because what we preach is we want our members to be able to go home the same way that they came to work
Yeah.
every day. So
Yeah.
we stand up and we fight to ensure that all of the members of our union go into work environments that are safe and free of any type of dangers, or if they are dangerous, that that they are mitigated to the point to where no one will be hurt every day, because we represent some very dangerous industries.
Right.
So um, we just make sure that they are as safe as they could possibly be and in compliance with OSHA. So
Hmm.
the health and safety aspect. But then the number one reason is for wages. When you look at just take Middle Georgia. When you look at the manufacturing industries and the jobs here in Middle Georgia, making especially like graphic packaging. Graphic packaging is one of the highest paid jobs in all of
Hmm.
Middle Georgia.
Hmm.
Armstrong World Industry, one of the highest paying jobs.
Labor
Like,
organization.
yes, ma'am. They're
Uh-huh.
out. They're all
Uh-huh.
represented by the United Steelworkers.
Uh-huh.
You go out in Gordon, BASF, and came into chalk mines.
Labor.
Labor.
Uh-huh.
You go down to Warner Robins, Anchor Glass, represented by the steel workers,
Mm-hmm.
and those are just industries that are under our umbrella. But you look at the railroad; they're under Teamsters. You look at the
Mm-hmm.
post office. There are so many different industries. Even the employees at your local grocery stores, Kroger,
Mm-hmm.
they're up. They're union. So I mean, the union has provided so much protection and so many benefits to so many people here in the Middle Georgia area. And I think it's time that more people open their eyes and take advantage of their right to come together and collectively bargain so that they can have more benefits, higher paying jobs and safe workplaces. So
Mhm. Mhm. And you have people who get comfortable where
yes,
they are, and they're thinking that, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay, and then they get hit with some kind of something that they know is not right, but they've just, gone along with stuff. And when there have been some efforts to organize at some of these companies, you've had some of these folks to say, oh no, I'm not going to pay my extra money for that. But then when they need it, then you see them, they come running then,
exactly.
wanting that. It's the same thing that I say about the NAACP. People ought to be a member of it now. And our statistics person, Patrick Davis, is on. He's already pulled up a story on you about where you saw some things that were happening, and you let me give it just like it. Um, American Manufacturing. It's a blog. After facing racial discrimination at his paper mill, Alex Perkins sprung into action. So he's got that on the in the chat, and then he has a little bit of more information. Some of the same things that you have said about labor unions, but like I was saying about the NAACP, people don't think that membership is important until they need it. And that is so terrible, because you have to think of these things like you do insurance. You have
Exactly.
to have car insurance. You don't want to have a car accident, but if you do, you are glad that you have that insurance. Your health insurance, any of the other kinds of insurances that you are required to have. You're not required to be a part of a labor union, but it's the same kind of protection, where if something comes up and you're not able to handle it all by yourself, you've got the collective support of that labor organization. So, okay, now let's go on. I want to thank you for giving us that background
You're
on
welcome.
it, because it used to be that the only way that especially Black folks were able to get the same earnings in these different companies as other folks were already getting was because labor organizations were there, and they fought for the rights of folks. And so it's disheartening to me the last few years to see these people talking about that. I don't need to pay my money for this, that, and the other. And I know you've heard that so much. I don't need to pay my
But see,
money.
but they don't understand the significance of paying their union dues. Like I explained earlier about being right to
Mm-hmm.
work states and at will
Mhm.
employees. The reason why you pay union dues is just for what you said, so you can have a collective voice and have that security and support.
Mhm.
If you're terminated in a union facility, you have to go through the grievance and arbitration procedure. You end up going before an arbitrator. It's just like going to court. So
Mhm.
someone has to foot the bill for that proceeding. The company's only going to pay a portion of that,
Right.
and your union pays the other portion.
Mhm.
Any witnesses that need to be off of work to testify on your behalf, the union has to pay their lost wages for that day. So
Mhm.
it's all about protecting you and your coworkers. So if you're going to be part of an organization that is all about helping workers,
Right.
then why not pay your fair share? The money that goes in the union dues also goes to things like organizing, being able to
Mhm.
help other industries organize because you want
Mhm.
to bring more people into the fold. But one of the biggest things and greatest things that I think that we did with money at graphic packaging, and they continue to do every year, is like the back to school program. We give
Uh-huh.
away
Uh-huh.
400 or 500 book bags. We've been at Fillmore Thomas Park.
Right.
We've been at the skating ring. We go all over Bibb County giving away back to school, giving away
Mhm.
book bags, school
Mhm.
supplies, and things of that nature. Also during the holidays, Christmas time, you have union members that pitch in money, as well as the local donate money to buy bikes and toys and things of that nature
Mhm.
to give the kids right here in Macon and
Cuz
Bibb
there are a
County.
lot of poor people in this community.
Yes,
Lot of people. We saw that when there was an attempt to raise the bus
yeah,
fares. And so we brought all of that information out that in the county, it's like 25% maybe, but in the city of
Hmm.
Macon, it's more like 40% poverty rate.
But see that's another reason why you need better paying jobs,
Right.
because when you look at the poverty rates, what the direct correlation to that is crime.
Hmm.
So when nobody's making any money, then that leads to people, trying to do what they have to do to try to,
Absolutely.
obtain the things that they need. So that's why my goal is to try to organize any and every facility here in Macon and Bibb County that wants a union, but not just Macon and Bibb, all of Middle Georgia. I
Right.
mean, because I feel like everybody deserves a fair wage, good benefits, and be able to retire with dignity.
Hmm.
Nobody deserves to be able to, go to
That's
work and
right.
work half their life and then turn around and be laid off after they've given 10, 20 years to a company and then, no justification behind it.
That's right. That's right. All of the years that I spent as an employee of the Bibb County school system, I was a member of not only the local Bibb Association of Educators, but I was also a member of the Georgia Association of Educators and the National Education Association. And those organizations always supported us. As a matter of fact, locally, some years ago, many of you might recall there were some actions brought, some allegations, complaints brought against me, who happened to be an elected city council member, Dr. Henry Ficklin, who happened to be on the city council at the time, Dolores Brooks, who was on the city council at that time. We all worked in the school system. Thelma Dillard, Willie Hill, trying to think who else was Dave Carter. They let him sneak out of it, and that's isn't that strange? They didn't want to get anyway. They brought allegations that we had misused our sick leave. Now, we all were tenured, had been tenured for years and years and years. And if we had a meeting or whatever, we would set our doctor's appointments or whatever it might be on that same day so that we would not double up on the days. We wouldn't have to take that sick leave day as well as the other day for our meeting. Well, no good deed goes unpunished because there were used to be a person on our city council who watched us like a hawk. And so he also served on another board. So he would watch us, and when we would go to meetings, he would check into it, and he could not understand how we could be away from the school system and also at the meeting. Well, what we had done is place our doctor's appointments on the same days that we had these other things. And then you do your doctor's appointments and go on in the afternoon to whatever. And you were actually saving the system money and our expertise. And we were not away from our job assignments for 2 days instead of the one day. But we were brought up on charges, and each one of us had a hearing. And we had to go in, and it was highly publicized. They took money out of our checks. But through the efforts of those unionized organizations that represented us, they assigned an attorney to each of us. And when we went through our hearings, our attorneys were there. They spoke on our behalf. We spoke on our behalf and presented information. And the school board voted to find that we were guilty of misusing our sick leave. Well, we appealed it. And on appeal, it was found that we were not guilty of misusing any sick leave. And just think all of the money that we would have had to spend for private attorneys had that organization not been there for us. So the end of that story is um, each one of us who had that little money taken out of our paychecks, the folks had to come to our place of employment, our jobs, and place in our hands our refund check for the money with interest that the folks had taken out of our checks. So that's one time when that we prevailed, and it was due to having an organized, being a part of an organization that supported us when we were done wrong. And so not only was our record cleared, there was a letter that we received saying, we find that y'all have done nothing wrong and all of that. Even though we had y'all all up in the paper, every one of us, we had a separate hearing and a separate day, and they would have our big old picture up there, where we were like on trial. And it actually was like a little trial before the Board of Education. But a lot of us have been through a lot of stuff, but it is to organized labor that we are able to say that we were well represented and evil did not prevail. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. And one of these days, we're going, as elected officials, we're going to share with you some of the stuff that we have had to deal with. And were it not for praying preachers and praying citizens and people who know us and who have our backs, we would have been down the drain and your representation would be harmed. Patrick says most union employees are on dues checkoff. Dues are deducted directly from each paycheck and sent by the employer directly to the union office. You'll see the amount dedicated on each pay stub along with other proportionate deductions like taxes or insurance. Patrick's on it. Patrick
Yeah.
does our statistics, so he's right on there. Pastor Lisa wants us to announce everyone to get an ad in their 25th Silver Liberty Church Anniversary souvenir booklet. And it has all the information there where you can text um, your information. They want it camera ready. I don't know why everybody wants stuff camera ready, because we ain't do camera ready. Y'all, y'all don't know. That turns folks off when you say camera ready. Because, I mean, anyway, we're going to support Pastor Lisa and others in what they're doing, because they are giving every day to the community. So, anyway, we've done that invitation. Maria Bryant has posted the Macon Bibb NAAC information with the membership amounts. $30 for adult membership, $10 for youth membership. And we at EL High School have said that we will sponsor 10 youth memberships to the NAACP. So if you'll contact us at the school, EL High School Academy, and if you are a youth, then we up to 10 young people we will sponsor your by paying your $10 fee to join the NAACP. So you've got some of your buddies on here too who are listening in, who have your back, who know what you're talking about. Faith says everything absolutely. So we're real glad to have her. We're glad to have all of you. You've tuned in to Ask Elaine. This is your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, and we thank you so very much for tuning in. Put on your calendar, Soul Jam, starting at 1 o'clock. Gates open at 1, Sunday at Henderson Stadium. It's the 23rd Soul Jam, and it's actually about the 30th event. It's outside in the stadium. The weather's going to be beautiful. People will have all of their groceries. People really cook for that. And then they bring their drinks. And then when they run out, they go to the vendors. And not only will we have things for sale with the vendors, but and they have a vendor with hats, beautiful hats. Um, for ladies and men. They have just all kinds of stuff there. DA Anita Reynolds Howard is one of the sponsors. She will be there. And we'll have a table with lots of information. Black Voters Matter will be there. I think they're going to have that big black bus. That's what they call it. It's decorated and has Black Voters Matter on it. We'll have T-shirts and masks and buttons and just all kinds of fans. fan is probably the most most
Yeah.
requested event. We expect to have elected officials. Sheriff David Davis is always there. The mayor says he's going to drop in, and Soul Jam has been has partnered with Macon 200. The Macon Bicentennial Group is also one of the partners with Soul Jam because they feel like it is such a staple in the community and it's been around for so long. And Senator Lucas is going to spotlight or pay tribute to the late Otis Redding III and that family's musical heritage, and also Mike Hogbrooks, who usually his group performs at Soul
Mhm.
Jam. So they're going to be all of those folks are going to be there, but the main thing is the friendships, the community spirit, everybody. There's never any problems. There are fire marshals there who make sure everything's kept safe. The Bibb Sheriff's Department, off duty Sheriff's Department deputies are there, and we have them in sufficient numbers so that you are safe. You're kept safe. So there's no problems. We've never had any kind of problem other than maybe somebody, having too
Too much.
much to do
Yeah.
and falling over somebody. But they just pick them up, prop them up, and
Yeah.
let them go on to the car. But anyway, it is a safe event. It's one that people love. Families go every year. There's some people who've been going 20 years, coming 20 years, and they are just wonderful, and we appreciate. We will have banners placed in the stadium in tribute to all of the different sponsors, and we're getting those in. We thank Atrium because they are a sponsor and they're going to have a blood pressure screening
Mhm.
that day. And they're just a number of things, not only on the nonprofit community side, but also on the vendor side for you. So, Soul Jam Sunday, starting at 1 o'clock. The gates open at 1. Show starts at 3. And then we'll be there until 11, probably 11. I'll be gone by
Yeah.
then. We really do get some good sleep that night. But you come on out and support this community event and encourage the senator to continue doing what he's doing to bring good music to Macon Bibb and bringing this community together. So everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Tickets are on sale, and you can go to Soul Jam, Macon, Georgia 2023, and you can find the ticket location. So please get yours ahead of time, and you don't have to worry about buying your ticket when you get there. The price is slightly higher. So go ahead and get your tickets. The weather's going to be beautiful, and go ahead and go on and go shopping because it's a fashion show
Oh,
too
definitely.
for the guys and the gals.
Definitely.
And so it's wonderful to see what people have bought and what they're wearing. Okay, we have Gwen Westbrook on the line. Gwen, welcome to Ask Elaine.
Good evening.
Hey, we have
Hey,
Mr. Alex Perkins on with the labor organization today.
yes, I was listening to it, and I want to thank him. Thank him because it's so very important. People have so many issues with employment, and I just want to thank him for being there to with the union to make sure that people are fairly treated.
Yeah,
You're more
yeah.
you're more than welcome.
Yeah, they handle a whole lot. NAACP handles a whole lot of job related
Mhm.
kinds of things too. What other information do you want to share? I know that you're going to be at Soul Jam on Sunday. So what services are y'all going to provide? You and Maria and the gang.
Well, I know we're going to be doing voter registration, and we're also going to be giving out some additional information. So I think we're going to be doing uh, yes, voter registration. And also, we're going to be giving out some other items. Maria is more familiar with it than I am, so she's not the political chairperson. But I know that they're going to be working on some other items that they're going to be working on giving out.
Okay. Okay.
She's listening to the show, so she'll be able to give you more information and some more information that we'll be
Okay.
giving out on the Soul Jam.
Okay, that is great. Um, NAACP works year round, and I'm glad you mentioned the fact that organizations like the labor organization and NAACP work hand in hand to protect the rights of people. So y'all need to support these different organizations that are working while you're sleeping. They're working on your behalf. Now, we're going to talk about Bluebird Bus Company. That is the latest organization. And over the years, we've heard a lot about Bluebird. A lot of the employees have had some things to say. They've had concerns about work hours and all of that. And so tell us about that. And Gwen, you chime in when you want to. But Alex is going to tell us about their work with Bluebird and how that turned out.
So,
Okay.
well, I actually started talking to employees back in 2018 about their concerns and issues that they had with the job at Bluebird. And some employees tell you, Bluebird could be a great place to
Mm-hmm.
work. They just need certain structure that the union helps provide by coming
Mm-hmm.
in and introducing seniority. Seniority is a
Oh,
key
okay.
factor,
Yeah.
to anybody progressing within any organization. So with that type of structure, as well as increasing the wages, um, we feel that we can turn around the morale of
Oh,
the
yeah.
employees,
Yeah.
because the
Right.
the wages, uh, work life balance is a big issue, because
Mm-hmm.
they have their own production, so they have to produce a certain number of buses before
Yeah.
they go home each
Yeah.
day. So if there are supply chain issues, then the workday may be extended with short notice, and that's one of the concerns that the employees have, and they want to be able to address that in a contract. And
Yeah.
we have different ways that we address those type of issues, but it was a long drawn out campaign, because there's so many. Is When you look at 1,400 employees, you got to educate all these people,
Yeah.
and a lot of
Yeah.
people, they're uncertain of what a union really does, and
Just like you got to tell them why it's important to vote. You got to
exactly,
convince them that it's
Right.
important to protect your working rights.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it was, to be quite honest, it when I started talking to him back in 2018, it didn't take me long to realize that, hey, it's gonna take more than me. But
Mm-hmm.
the United Steelworkers did a great job. They sent a young lady down here, Miss Wilhelmina Hardy. She
Mm-hmm.
came down, and she's been here for almost 2 years, just day to day, talking
Okay.
and educating people. And then about 2 months ago, 20 other union members from across the country, they came in and just started having one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
conversations, going to
Mm-hmm.
the employees' houses to have these face-to-face conversations and answer questions, because we don't want anybody to be misled. A
Yeah.
lot of companies, when the union files a petition, they start their anti-union campaigns, and they start with this is a third party,
Oh,
and this is,
yeah.
they want your money, and this
Yeah.
and that. So we're used to that from any organization that we start, trying to organize. But ultimately, it's always up to the workers. The
Mm-hmm.
workers know what they want and what they desire, and all we can do is tell them what we're here to offer and how we can help, benefit them and change their
Right.
lives,
Right.
positively. So
Right.
everything went well. I mean, we had the vote Friday before last. 697 employees voted yes. I think it was 435 voted no. And
Yeah.
we we had a
I heard,
there was a
I
hundred.
heard about those numbers.
Yeah, we had 155 ballots that weren't counted because there were challenges by the union and the
Oh,
company.
okay.
So, but
Okay.
those 155, they could have been for whoever, either the company or the union,
Right.
but they wouldn't have made a difference in
That's
the
right.
outcome. So those ballots weren't counted. But
Mm-hmm.
we're looking forward to meeting with Bluebird to try to negotiate a contract. We were certified on Monday by the National Labor Relations
Oh,
Board,
great.
so
Great. Great.
everything is official. We sent a request to bargain to the company on Monday as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just trying to, get in there and let the employees, voice express their opinions to the company. Because with my job, what I do every day now, with as a staff representative, I negotiate contracts. So
Uh-huh.
now the next
Mm-hmm.
step is me sitting down with the workers from Bluebird, figuring out what do they want to propose, as far as their contract,
Yeah.
putting those
Yeah.
in proposal form and presenting it to the
Yeah.
company.
Is Amazon locally? Yeah, are they
No,
unionized?
they're
They're
not
not, are they?
unionized.
I know that over in Alabama there was an attempt at unionization. What, last year,
Yeah.
and it was not successful, was it?
No, it was
Mm.
not successful, and I
But
can,
there was one place that was
yeah,
where it was
in
successful.
in New York it was successful,
Okay.
and it was
Okay.
ran by a young man who actually used to work at that facility in New York, and he
Mm-hmm.
started that. So it's the Amazon ALU, Amazon Labor Union. He was a former employee, and he was able to help those people get organized. But the Amazon in Alabama, it's kind of funny. The people that ran the anti-union campaign over in Alabama were the same people that ran the anti-union campaign here in Macon, Georgia at Kumo Tire. So
Mm-hmm.
I know what those people were subjected to
Mm-hmm.
based on what the
Mm-hmm.
people here in Macon
Yeah,
were subjected
yeah,
to at Kumo Tire.
yeah,
Well,
Alabama.
years ago, and Gwen, you'll probably remember when Brown and Williamson was coming in. I mean, a company that paid some of the highest salaries that people
Right,
never
right,
thought that those kinds of salaries would be paid. But there were a number of companies that fought Brown and Williamson coming in because they were unionized, and they could guarantee that the employees were at a certain level as far as their rights and their salaries, promotions, all of those kinds of things. So I remember that fight, and thank goodness the union prevailed.
Hmm.
The people chose the union over being non-union. But that just shows you what having a representation can do for you. Faye Alexander reminds us that the legendary Tina Turner has passed, and I was listening to MSNBC, and they were paying tribute to her life and legacy as I was coming over here to the station. So we want to pay tribute and a big salute to Tina Turner, who had a fascinating life. Part of her life was unhappy, very unhappy, abusive relationship. But when she got out of that, then her whole aura of fame went back up. And so she's recognized as just one of the most marvelous entertainers who crossed all uh, uh, stratas of the population. Everybody loved something that she did, and she was such a performer. So we want to express our sorrow at her passing. When these people pass, we got to tell the story, and we
Exactly.
got to remind people, and not just now, but we got to do it continuously because people forget.
Yes.
They forget.
I've
right.
always been a fan of Tina Turner. We actually have the same birthday. That
Oh,
that was
okay.
that was my little thing growing up as a kid. They
Uh-huh.
always like, well, who's the celebrity that was born on your birthday? And mine was always Tina Turner, November the
Oh.
26th.
Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Gwen, did you have a question that you wanted to ask Alex concerning labor activities?
No, no. I just wanted to say that um, there were quite a bit of issues and and again I'm glad that you all were able to get the union. I know the NAACP has actually had some complaints from Bluebird on several occasions where we've had to get involved. And listening to you earlier, talking about people being laid off or people being terminated after being there 30 years. I think this gentleman had been there about 30 years and was terminated. So those are the type things that uh, where a union needs to be there because someone's worked on a job 30 years and just terminated and it's not making sense. And a lot of times you lose your retirement, depending on how companies have you lose your retirement and certain benefits if you're terminated. So I'm just so I had heard about it from A. Philip Randolph about the numbers. And we had our executive committee meeting Monday, and they talked about the vote, how many votes it was, and I'm just again so grateful uh, to you that you were able to get the union organized.
I have to add my congratulations to you because that's a big job.
Thank you.
Patrick uh, uh, presented some more information. It says that Bluebird stands to benefit from your new federal funds. And I want to remind everybody that Uncle Joe, that man that y'all are saying some folks out there talking about, he's 80 years old, he's too old. He's beating the Republicans upside the head right now. And he's going to get that debt ceiling increased. You watch it. I'll be able to tell you next Wednesday that
Uh-huh.
Uncle Joe did it. Y'all don't underestimate Uncle Joe. There is power in that age and wisdom. There's wisdom there. We got to
Right,
merge it
right,
with the youthful energy. We got to merge it together and not lose, not allow people to split us up. We've got to work together and we've got to re-elect. Now, I know labor organizations generally in the last few years have supported the Democratic nominee. And I'm assuming since Joe Biden has been yelling labor, 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 labor for from the time he announced his candidacy, and I think he said something about labor yesterday. He all of his a lot of the monies that he is responsible for in these bills, labor is going to benefit, and many of these companies that have labor organizations, they're going to benefit
The-
from it.
I'm gonna say this about President Biden. He is probably the first president that I've ever seen, and it may be the only president that we'll ever see that stands as firm as he stands on supporting
Oh
labor.
yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
he stands
right,
by
right,
what he says and he means what he says. When you look at the new infrastructure bill and all of the green energy bills that he's signed into act, to give
Mm-hmm.
out this money to these corporations, he has clauses in these bills that say that they must refrain from trying to keep people from organizing with
Uh-huh.
labor unions. They
Mm-hmm.
must remain neutral because of the and it's all about creating good paying jobs.
Right.
So he doesn't mind giving these
right.
companies the money to invest in the facilities, but he also wants them to invest the money into the workers. I'm not sure if you saw the letter that he wrote to the employees at Bluebird congratulating
You
them.
know what? I heard that there was a letter. I didn't read the actual letter, but I heard that there was. Oh, I know you got it. Um, Patrick says while you're getting that, the three bills making up that investment include a $1 trillion infrastructure package, a 280 billion measure to rekindle a domestic semiconductor industry, and the Inflation Reduction Act, which included 370 billion for clean energy to combat climate change. These are the things that are out there for our future to protect us and also to make sure that labor is always involved. Um,
Right.
Uncle Joe, and I call him that affectionately. Uh, Uncle Joe says, congratulations to the workers at Bluebird in Fort Valley, Georgia, on their vote to unionize and join the United Steelworkers. This is your president, y'all. This is a letter. The men and women at Bluebird are building electric school buses that are powering America's clean energy future, lowering greenhouse gas emissions, and ensuring our kids breathe cleaner air. The fact is, the middle class built America, and I'm going to stop right there. The middle class built America. That's what Uncle Joe is saying, and that's what's true. And so,
True.
nobody, especially black and brown folks, should have in, and most white folks, because they don't have, I mean, they're poor white folks too, that ought to be about labor organization. And there are many of them who are a part of it and swear by uh, labor and support it. But Uncle Joe realizes who built America, the middle class labor organizations. But oh, I tell you, this engineer just went and found the. Y'all can read it yourself. You can read the rest of it. I tell you, and Patrick has it up too. These folks are just marvelous. They are marvelous. And Kimberlyn Carter is on, and not just tax breaks for billionaires. Y'all do know that what's holding up the talks on the debt ceiling, the Republicans are talking about keeping in place the tax breaks for billionaires. That's the only thing that they're concerned about.
They're
The
concerned
only
about.
thing. Whereas Uncle Joe is up there, and I say that affectionately, Uncle Joe is up there saying, we're not going to make folks work just so they can get some food or so they can feed their families. We're not going to put that in there. We're not going to reduce benefits by trillions of dollars just because you're mean spirited and low down and dirty, which is what Republicans are. They're mean, low down, dirty. And if and anybody who knows that they're in one of those classes where your rights are being attacked, if you're a supporter of those ungodly Republicans, you ought to be ashamed. So don't come near me because I'm gonna have a real serious problem. Gwen Westbrooks is too, and a whole bunch of other folks gonna have a real problem with you. You need to get in order, or somebody needs to talk to you because if it's not, if we don't reelect Democrats and take control of the House again and keep the Senate, the US Senate, and put Uncle Joe back in office, we are going to be, us meaning black and brown folks, as well as a whole lot of white folks, Kimberly Carter, gonna be in some deep, you know what. So Kimberlyn says, I am so grateful for Bluebird. They deliver worldwide. Kimberlyn, we got to get Kimberlyn on here. If she ever comes back to Macon, one of these days she'll be back. She's all over the country with Rep Georgia, recruiting candidates. Kimberlyn, we need you back here to help us to recruit some folks, and we need labor to recruit some folks to run for, and we need to target the Macon Bib Commission so that we can get. Oh, Kim's in Milwaukee. She was in Boston the last time I heard from her. On her way, she left New York with the NAN, National Action
Uh-huh.
Network conference, and then went on over to Boston, and now she's in Milwaukee. Uh, but she's bragging about Bluebird and the work that you, along with the other labor representatives, have done. Y'all just did a magnificent job.
Thank
Congratulations. It's wonderful. But if we don't get busy and get registered to vote, because you can't vote unless you're registered, y'all, there's going to be a brand new Board of Elections office where if it's a long line, you'll be inside. It's all being done with your money too. And very soon you'll be able to see how wonderful these new offices will be. So you've got a whole lot going on, a whole lot of people working on your behalf. And so you need to appreciate that and be ready to go out in record numbers and vote. And those of you who are handicapped can go to the front of the line and vote. There'll be early voting. 2024 will be here before we know it. This year is just about gone. It just came in. It's just about gone. So y'all, we got to get ready. We got to be prepared. Just like the labor organizations are working on our behalf, you have got to be prepared too to do your part. There's strength in numbers. Kimberlyn says she's proud to see another brother standing tall for working people. And all of us are working people, no matter where we, what title we may use. And Maria says it all: register to vote. We got to do it. You can't vote unless you are registered. And
Right.
if you are off paper, if you've served all of your time, you don't owe anything to anybody, you can register to vote.
Oh,
So
yes.
keep that in mind. Kimberly's going to be back on May 31st for an event at the Tub, and maybe we can get her in pretty soon. You hear that music?
Yes, ma'am.
You hear that music, Gwen?
I
They're
tell
about
you
to
that
cut us
music
off. We just used up all of this time. It's such a wonderful hour that we spend every week. Alex, thank you so very much for your work. Hang in there, and we're going to have you back
thank you
pretty soon
again,
because we're going
Alex.
to talk some more. What
Yes,
did
ma'am.
you say, Gwen?
I just said again, thanks. I thank Alex. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And thank you for calling in. And thank you to everybody who tuned in to Ask Elaine today. Thank you, Mr. Engineer, for all of your help in keeping me from um, making the station inoperable. I just don't touch anything. See, they've got a sign up for me. Don't, and it says, Elaine, don't touch anything in the studio. And I don't. Thank you all so much. Those on AM, FM, and Facebook Live for being with us today. This has been your voice, Commissioner Elaine Lucas, and we will be right here again next Wednesday at 3 p.m. for another edition of Ask Elaine. Congratulations, graduates.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM.